Good evening, everyone that is tuned in tonight on our July's edition. Sorry, I'm a month ahead. I'm ready for August. July's edition of the Ask Mary and Pat Show, featuring Miss Mary Fenner and Miss Pat Boga. Tonight we will have Miss Fenner along with a special guest. We are so glad that you are joining in this evening from wherever you may be. And to the ones who will be watching the recording later on, thanks for tuning in. My name is Thomas Robertson, and I am the Technology and Metrics Director for Oak Hill Regional Community Development Corporation, which is the parent corporation of Healthy Kids Mississippi. We recognize our board chair, Jennifer Garrett, our executive director, Dr. Michael O'Miner, and our project director, Mrs. Lottie Miner. In addition to the Zoomcast, we will restream this evening's webinar on our Oak Hill Regional CDC and Healthy Kids Mississippi Facebook pages. Feel free to like and share on your social media pages. Also, post any questions or comments in the Zoom chat or in the social media comments. We will do our best to respond to each question. Before we get started, here are a few reminders. If you haven't downloaded the Oak Hill Regional CDC app, please take a moment right now before we get started to download that app. It is free of charge in the Google Play Store as well as the Apple Store. Again, it is free of charge. All you have to do is search Oak Hill Regional CDC or search Mississippi Healthcare Help. Once again, it is free of charge. Before we go any further, we want to remind you about a few more announcements. Our next third Wednesday Parent Resource Chat will be August make sure I have the right date, August the 16th. And it will be focused on artificial intelligence or AI and mental health. And that will be conducted by Ms. Bettina Campbell and Dr. Terrence Campbell. Once again, that date is August 16th at 11 a.m. If you would like the link to that, please contact us and we will send that to you for you to register. The next Ask Mary and Pat show will be August the 28th at 6 p.m. Without prolonging any more time, I'm going to turn it over to the host of the show tonight, Miss Mary Fenner. Miss Mary Fenner, you can take it away.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Hi, I'm Mary Fenner, and I am a Medicaid application administrator with Oak Hill Regional Community Development Corporation. Our office is located in Hernando, Mississippi. Our phone number is 662-298-3584. My extension is 107. So if you have any questions after this broadcast, then you can give us a call and we can try to help you as much as we can. Okay, so we have a few questions for tonight. If anyone has any questions that they need to ask, they can just pop in and ask the question, or either put your question in Facebook, and someone is monitoring Facebook Live so that we can get to your questions. The first question I have is, if I move and put in a forwarding address, a forwarding request with the post office, do I still have to notify Medicaid that I have moved? And yes, you still have to notify Medicaid, because Medicaid does not honor forwarding requests. If you forward your mail, they'll get cannot deliver that goes to the main office in Jackson, and you will be cut off, and your children will be cut off Medicaid. So if you have moved, it is really important that you update your contact information with the Medicaid office so that you can continue to get mail at your current address. Okay, another question we have is, and some of the questions I know some people ask over and over again, but that's all right. We just want to make sure that you get the right understanding. Is, do you have to go to certain doctors with Medicaid if you're on Medicaid? No, whatever doctor that accepts Medicaid, that's where you can go. So you can contact your doctor and see if they accept Medicaid or CHIP. And if they do, then that's where you can go. Even specialists, if you can contact the specialist, the dental office, and see if they take Medicaid, if they take people that are on Medicaid. Okay, another question we have is, my sister lives in Chicago and gets Medicaid. I have applied for Medicaid here in Mississippi, but was denied. Well, there are a few reasons that you may be denied. First, the number one thing is that Medicaid, Mississippi did not expand Medicaid. So there's an age group between 19 and 64 that are not eligible for any Medicaid now unless they're pregnant, low income, or if they have, also they have to have children or be guardian of children in the household under the age of 18. So those three things play a part if you are an adult trying to apply for Medicaid, but your child still may be eligible, but you may not be eligible as an adult. Okay. Okay, what gets your Medicaid denied or canceled? One of the reasons why Medicaid will get denied or canceled is that they cannot contact you when they need to request additional information for you to get approved. If they cannot contact you, they will cancel it or deny your Medicaid. If you need to submit additional information and you need a little bit more time before you can get it together, please contact your Medicaid office and ask to speak to your Medicaid specialist and let that person know that you're still working to get the information to you. They have 30 days to process your case, but they also allow 2 weeks for you to get the information back in to them. And sometimes if they haven't received it in 2 weeks, they may cut you off, even though there's a 30 days. But if you need additional time to submit additional information, please let them know, contact them, and they can let you know if they can hold the case still out or not. Okay. If you moved to Mississippi and was on Medicaid in that state, does your Medicaid move with you? And the answer to that is no. Whenever you move from state to state, you have to reapply for Medicaid. You have to make sure that your Medicaid has been turned off at that particular state that you're moving from, and then you apply for Medicaid in the state of Mississippi. Medicaid does not travel from state to state. Now, if you're on disability Medicaid, that's a different story altogether. You just need to contact your Social Security office and let them know that you have moved. And so disability Medicaid is different. But if it's Medicaid dealing with your children or CHIP dealing with your children and you move, you need to cancel your Medicaid in the state that you're moving from and then reapply in Mississippi. Okay. I see we have May Stigger on the line with us tonight. I wonder if she has any additional information that she can give us or any additional things she wants to say. If not, she may not be able to get on right at this particular time. Okay,
Ms. Fenner, I think you've covered everything.
so far.
I cannot think of any. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Can you hear me, Ms.? Okay. I would like to add. I think you've covered everything.
Okay. Well, we'll go to the next question. Okay, since this is back to school time, and a lot of parents are preparing their children to go back to school, we have a few questions dealing with back to school. Okay, the first question I have that somebody submitted is, my kids start back to school on Monday of next week. I need to make sure their vaccines are up to date. Will their Medicaid pay for them if they take them to the doctor? And the answer is yes. Yes, Medicaid covers vaccines that are needed for your children. If you have any questions about if a certain vaccine, if they need to get one or they haven't had one or what they have had, you need to contact your physician and find out what the necessary vaccines are. Okay. And you want to make sure that children are vaccinated. I know there's a lot of different opinions about that, but if that's what you for, it'll protect them when they do go back to school from other types of diseases and things that they may catch from other children or from anybody. It might make them vulnerable, and you don't want to leave them vulnerable and susceptible, but that's all a personal choice with you, your children, and your physician. So now we have a commercial coming up.
There are Mississippians applying for health insurance that may not qualify for a program. However, we all know it is important for families to have health insurance. This is why Healthy Kids Mississippi has been working with our state's federally qualified community health centers, or FQCHC, to help our fellow citizens find a medical home. Our organization is focused on raising public awareness about health coverage options for children and their parents through the Medicaid and Children's Health Insurance Program, or CHIP, in the state of Mississippi. Our process is simple. Our organization's assisters seek out Mississippians. Once our assisters gather the necessary information from the consumer, they apply for insurance programs on behalf of them when consent is given. When the application process is complete, the applicant will find out by mail if their application has been approved. We want to help as many families in Mississippi as we can. To learn more about our organization, please visit us on our website, healthykidsms.org, or give us a call at 662-298-3584. We welcome you.
We do have another question pertaining to back to school. Someone asks, my child is also going back to school next week. I am not sure if her Medicaid is active because I haven't received a renewal letter yet from Medicaid, and she hasn't had to go to the office this summer. How do I find out if her Medicaid is active? Okay, the best thing to do is contact your local office, your local Medicaid office, to update your contact information. And when you call them to let them see if they have your correct information, then ask to speak to your specialist or see if they can check and see if your child is still on Medicaid. That's the most important thing to do, is contact your Medicaid office. Okay, we have another question. My 19-year-old son's Medicaid just recently ended, and my 21-year-old just lost his coverage as well. Why did my 19-year-old lose his coverage at 19 and the 21-year-old just recently lost his? Well, during the COVID-19 pandemic, President Biden had a public health emergency. A public health emergency was declared, and anyone that was on Medicaid during that particular time would not be taken off or not denied. They could apply and may get denied, but if they were already on, they were not taken off. So if your child turned 19 during that time or period, then they automatically kept their Medicaid. So now the public health emergency has ended the end of March 31st. And since it has ended, now the people who were at that particular time that are no longer eligible for Medicaid have been cut off. But if you feel like you can always call the local Medicaid office and ask to speak to one of your Medicaid specialists and see if is there some other options. Also, we have the Affordable Care Act that your children may be eligible to apply for if they're working or if they're still being filed on their parents' income. Then you can call the office 662-298-3584 and ask to speak to one of our navigators, and they can help you with deciding if your children are eligible for insurance through the Affordable Care Act. And I think Mr. Clarence Campbell has something that he wants to talk about.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. This is Clarence Campbell. I'm a navigator with Oak Hill Regional Community Development Corporation. And one of the things I did want to talk about is with NBC Hope, National Baptist Congress, we have monthly health observances starting tomorrow, which is August. August is National Immunization Awareness Month. And I got this from a government website. It says, with the new school year about to start and flu season right around the corner, it's a great time to remind people in your community that getting all the recommended vaccines protects against serious illness. Thanks to widespread vaccination, some childhood diseases like polio and also smallpox can be included in that, have been officially eliminated in the United States. But this article goes on to say that during the national health emergency, the COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of immunizations dropped. So there's a lot of people out there that did not keep their immunizations current. And so this is just a reminder to make sure that all the immunizations are current. And as Ms. Finner said, Medicaid covers immunization, and as well as Medicare if you're eligible. And then also if you have coverage through the Affordable Care Act, marketplace coverage, vaccinations are also one of the 10 essential health benefits that are covered with that program. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Clarence Campbell, about that information. That's very helpful to our parents to know about the different health observances that we observe, and that this month, August, since August 1st is around the corner, then you will be aware of the health observances for the month of August. Okay. The next question we have is, my child is having some mental health issues right now since he was held back a grade this past school year. She has Medicaid. Will Medicaid pay for mental health services? And the answer is yes. Medicaid does cover mental health care, but you need to talk with your primary care physician so that that person can, the doctor can refer you to a specialist that can provide your child help with her mental health issues. Okay. Another question I have, how do I get my children approved for Mississippi Medicaid? I just moved to Mississippi from Arkansas, and I need to get them on Medicaid as quickly as possible because they start school in a week or so. And that's one of the questions that we had earlier, is concerning about making sure that your Medicaid has been canceled from the state that you have moved from. And then what you need to do is apply for Medicaid through your Medicaid office. You can either call us at 662-298-3584 and ask to speak to, or let someone know that you need to apply for Medicaid for your children. We can either help you in person, or either we can do it over the phone with your permission to put in the application for you online. So if that's something that you need to do, just give us a call, 662-298-3584, and we are willing to help you. Okay. Does anyone want to unmute and have anything that they would like to discuss?
Good evening, Sister Fenner. This is Bernard Montgomery. With all the storms and natural disaster, tornadoes, and those type of things that are coming through, and it can happen in a moment notice, and power goes out and those type of things. So I would suggest to everyone to have a backup plan for secure your information and have it available, even though you may move temporarily, but with things that are going on, how long is temporarily? So make sure that you have a change of address and you notify the agency that is going on. I don't think it would hurt that you would contact your agency and say, listen, if my power go out or you guys' business going out, what would be the alternative? What is the next step? So give me some avenues of the steps I should take to make sure that I'm able to continue with the service as soon as possible, even in emergencies.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Montgomery. And also we have Brenda Wilson on. Is there something that you may want to add or discuss? If you can unmute. Okay, she may be having a little difficulties getting on right now. But does anyone else have any more questions that they have for that we can discuss as far as having to deal with Medicaid or back to school, or maybe someone has something that they want to talk about as far as back to school goes?
Will Medicaid application administrator be at any of those back to school events?
Yes, there's one coming up this week with Hernando, with ICS and Hernando. And so we're going to be there. Well, I will be there tomorrow to help with registration, with seeing if you're eligible, if people are eligible and want to apply for Medicaid. I will be there to, I have applications with me, or we can also do something over the online right there in the office. So if you're going to ICS Head Start in Hernando, tomorrow we'll be there from about 9 to maybe 2. You stop by. And I know there are probably some other back to school activities. I think there was one in Holly Springs that Ms. Boga was going to attend and was able to attend. I'm not sure, was it this past weekend or if it's the weekend to come up. I know they were having like a back to school event that she was attending in Holly Springs. So you can call the office and we can let you know whenever that event is coming up. I'm not sure of any other events in the area back to school. I'm sure there are some. So if there is any back to school events and if you want one of the Medicaid specialist application administrators to be there, give us a call at the office and we'll make sure that someone will be able to attend to help explain Medicaid or help to put in applications for Medicaid. Is there anything else, or Duke, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, were there any other questions?
Check in now.
Okay, we do have someone just popped on.
Miss Fenner, I know you mentioned that you would be in Hernando at the Head Start Center tomorrow.
Mhm.
I plan to be at Crenshaw Head Start Center tomorrow as well.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's good. So we have someone at Crenshaw tomorrow. We have somebody at Hernando tomorrow. Thank you for that information.
You're more than welcome.
You're welcome. So we have Maddie Fenner on. Are you able to talk, Maddie?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good evening, and thank you for having me.
Okay, you can go ahead. Introduce yourself.
My name is Maddie Fenner. I am a teacher at North Panola Middle School. And yeah, that's it. I did want to get on and just share with parents regarding your middle school students to just ensure that they have their clear backpacks when they arrive for school. We started today and our numbers were great, but for those students who had not come yet, make sure they have their clear backpacks, and you can call the school for a supply list. If you have middle school or high school students that are athletes, make sure they complete all of their athletic requirements as far as registering their Dragonfly, making sure they have a sports physical, making sure that they have proper hydration when they're attending their practices and their games, to just make sure that we keep our children safe and healthy.
Okay, do anyone have any questions for Ms. Fenner?
I have a question for Ms. Fenner. I don't know if she will know it, but when they do the sports physicals, do they automatically do some kind of test on the young men's or young ladies' hearts? If not, I would suggest that the parent be informed that might be a good thing to do, is to make sure that they have heart healthy check tests.
Right. Well, I'm not in the medical profession, but just from getting sports physicals for my athletes, my own children, if there are any underlying conditions or family history, that's when they will go deeper into the sports physical. But generally, it's just a basic physical, unless they are made aware of any family history or underlying conditions that would require them to do further checks into their heart.
That's good, but given these incidents that we've seen for the athletes that apparently didn't have a history, but they still had a sudden cardiac arrest, it might be something that parents may want to start to consider, is to make sure that they at least do an initial check.
Yes, I agree.
Do we have any other questions for her while she's on? Or do anyone else have anything else that they would like to say? Thank you, Ms. Fenner, for coming on and keeping us informed about back to school.
You're most welcome.
If no one has anything else and there's no other questions on Facebook, or we don't have any text questions, Duke, are you still on?
Yes, ma'am, I'm on.
Okay, I think that's it for us tonight, this evening.
All right, perfect. A great show as always, Ms. Fenner. Such great valuable information shared with consumers that are across the state of Mississippi, and also the ones that may be in different states across the country. You may learn more about us at www.okhioregionalcdc.com and www.healthykidsms.org. You can contact our office at 662-298-3584 or text us at 662-689-9712. And Ms. Fenner, could you drop your extension one more time for everyone if they need to contact you?
My extension is 107.
107. So all you need to do is dial 662-298-3584 and hit the extension 107, and you'll be connected with Ms. Fenner. Once again, we acknowledge our board chair, Jennifer Garrett, our executive director, Dr. Michael O'Miner, and project director, Mrs. Lottie Miner. This has been a production of Oak Hill Regional Community Development Corporation, belonging, building, and bridging in the Mid-South region and across the state of Mississippi. Have a great evening, everyone.
Have a great evening.